but it's actual policy of this government to bring in millions of unregistered, undocumented foreigners. They destroyed the boats. This government isn't destroying them. In fact, it's putting them on a bigger boat and sending them back to France. I mean, the real enemy of this country is 650 politicians sitting in Westminster and 800 lords.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Nick Talks. This episode's returning and still amazing guest is Silver Fox from the Silver Fox Hot Takes. How you doing, Foxy?
Hi, Nick. I am doing ever so well. Welcome to everybody who's tuning in to watch. Hope you're all doing very well as well.
Well, first thing I need to say is Happy Halloween. That's for your background.
Yes.
So, Foxy, this may come as a surprise to you, but our government seems to be messing up our immigration policy. And I know you're going to say, no, they're not, Nick. But let me give you these three things and see if I can change your mind. The first thing is 3 days ago, we had the horrendous murder of a gentleman in Uxbridge. Working class man, walking his dog, gets stabbed to death by a lunatic Afghan. Came here illegally, shouldn't be in the country, should have been deported years ago. The second thing is the migrants who have sexually assaulted a schoolgirl in Epping, the one who set all the demonstrations off outside the migrant hotels. He was released by accident from prison after a couple of weeks being in there. He went back to the prison to tell them, I don't think I should be out. And they said, go away, go to the train station. And the third one is it's becoming clear now that the people that Labour are deporting back to France with the one in, one out fantastic scheme they've launched, they're all on the way back. Am I being harsh? Is this government as incompetent as they sound?
No. Don't fall into the trap, Nick, of thinking that this is incompetence. This is deliberate. This is policy. They don't want to say it out loud because saying it out loud would be very unpopular. But it's actual policy of this government to bring in millions of unregistered, undocumented foreigners. Because if they didn't want to do it, they could stop it like that. But they don't want to do that. They want to encourage it. This is why they keep offering them all the little freebies. Oh, come here, we'll give you a nice hotel. You'll get your 3 nice meals a day, spending money, free telephone, free cigarettes. We'll make sure you're near a school. And it's encouraging it. Oh, of course, we're not going to put the Navy into the channel. No, no, that would be stupid. That'd be the sort of thing you'd do if you wanted to stop the boats. And of course, these boats, and not many people know this, but these boats are actually paid for by the Chinese Communist Party, as indeed are the engines on the boats. And that's why this government is not destroying them like the previous government, the Tory party, did. They destroyed the boats. This government isn't destroying them. In fact, it's putting them on a bigger boat and sending them back to France. That is genuinely true. I am not even kidding. They are doing that. They are taking these boats and sending them back to France so they can be used again and again. And they don't want to destroy them because they don't want to upset the Chinese paymasters of this country. We are the UK branch of the Chinese Communist Party under these traitors that are running us. Now, you've got the guy in Uxbridge that you mentioned. This is Wayne Broadhurst, who was just walking his dog, going about his business, causing no one any hassle, and is murdered by an illegal immigrant who should never have been in this country, but was allowed to be here because we've got a government that cares more for foreign illegal immigrants than it does for its own people. And it's a government, therefore, that has no authority. It's got um, no right to be a government. When you're putting foreigners ahead of your own people, you're not a government. You're an enemy incumbent, and I think that's where we are with this government. And as for the accidental release of the child abuser at the Bell Hotel, who was put in prison and accidentally released, I believe that was deliberate, and I believe it was used so that Starmer could have gone and said, "Oh well, if he had a digital ID, if he had digital IDs, that wouldn't have happened." And that's all bullshit because this was. was there's no way that man should have been released accidentally because you have to go through so many checks and balances to get to that point. This is deliberate. And he even said he went back to the prison and said, I should be in prison, I shouldn't be out because he was hungry and didn't have any money. And the prison refused to take him back, presumably because someone at the Home Office said, no, no, he's got to be out, he's got to be released. It stinks. This isn't incompetence, Nick. It's deliberate. Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, three times is enemy action.
Let me push back a little bit on the lack of the you don't think it's incompetence. Now,
Oh well, no, no, I don't. I'm not saying there's no incompetence. They are an incompetent crowd, but I'm saying that this it has the stench of deliberate action.
because when it comes to releasing prisoners early, it's quite standard every year in this country for us to make a mistake two to 300 times a year. We release the wrong prisoner, and this has been happening for at least a decade. So that is, pure incompetence there. There may be different things under this. I'm going to call him a gentleman, this paedophile scumbag. The prison guards should have known who he was. He's quite infamous. They should have known who he is. Someone should have said, "You've only been here 3 weeks, mate. I'm sure you got sentenced more than 3 weeks. You've caused a whole national movement in the country." And then talking about the Afghan who killed Wayne from Uxbridge, he was allowed in under the Tories. He was given leave to remain, and under the Tories were just as bad as this Labour government. So that's why we call them the Uni Party. But their policy at the moment is you're quite right. We've got to judge people by their actions and the outcomes of their actions. And if we judge the last government and this government by their outcomes, it's they must want millions of third world foreigners to come to this country because everything they do delivers this outcome. From I don't know if you know this, but on the Home Office website, which you can access around the world, it tells you what you're entitled to if you move to the UK. That's still on the government website. We're advertising still to the third world. Free education for your children, free NHS, so much money, accommodation, what your rights are. That's on a government website telling people to come.
It's a magnet, Nick, and of course, if you've put in that there, people are going to go, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Britain, rather than what should be, which is you come here, you're arrested and sent back immediately, you get nothing, um, and you're risking your life and you've handed your money over to criminal gangs. And the moment you get here, you should be arrested and put on the first plane out. Doesn't matter where the plane's going, spare seat, just stick them on it and out they go. It becomes somebody else's problem, not ours. Why should we taxpayers have to work hard and get taxed to smithereens to give foreigners who've done nothing and who hate us and hate our culture an easy life? It's deliberate, and I'm firmly of the opinion it's all part of the Great Replacement, the Kaligi Plan, because white people in Europe are problematic to the New World Order because we question things and say no, and that's genuine. That's why I think they're looking for a war in Europe. I genuinely believe this. They want us gone.
I think you're right about a war. The West desperately need a war because it's the only way to get rid of young, violent men who may be a problem for future governments who won't do as they're told. So you need to wipe out a generation. And it also gives the home nation a new enemy to think about. Start looking external at the enemy. Because while you're looking external, that means you're not looking internally at the government and what they're doing to you. It's a classic play by every dictator and every authoritarian regime. They all do this, otherwise the public look at them and blame them.
Yeah. I mean, the real enemy of this country is 650 politicians sitting in Westminster and 800 lords. They're the enemy of this country. They're the ones doing this. People don't go to war. People don't do these things. Governments do. And they are leading us up a path that is going to be problematic in this country. And I think, and I genuinely believe this, and even Elon Musk has been saying this, that there's going to be a civil war in this country. And I just think if that's the case, fine, let that happen. But remember that the first battle has got to be the Battle of Westminster. Because if we can't beat Westminster, we are truly buggered.
Yeah, I mean every civil war affects the elite, the establishment, the political class, because they're perceived as the enemy. So they've got a vested interest to try to improve the country and avoid a civil war, because that's where we get the phrase, the famous phrase you used, piano wire, neck, lamppost. I mean, I won't say that on this channel, but you know the phrase I'm talking about, and people get into trouble for saying that now. Let me tell you about another problem, immigration problem, that, tell me if you think I'm wrong, that nobody could have foresaw this. We deport illegal immigrants from this country to France under the new scheme. We give them up to £3,000 in their pocket. And I've been told some have started coming back over the channel again. Could anybody have foreseen this? Or does it take a genius like Einstein to work out that if we deport criminals, they may use the £3,000 we give them to come back over the channel again? Could anybody have foresaw this, Foxy? Or am I just being cynical?
It's astonishing, isn't it, Nick? Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought giving someone a reward for leaving the country that's more than what they have to pay to come back in? And they go and they get their £3,000. They pay 1,000 to the gangs. The gang bring them over again. They go, "I'll go back, bud, like another £3,000. Yay!" And they can keep doing it. These guys can earn £2,000 a week for a bit of, basically a bit of cross-channel ferrying, back and forth, 2,000 a week. It's great money, isn't it? Boom, boom, boom. And all we've got to do is change your name every time you turn up.
I'd go to France quite often if on the way back someone gave me
Somebody
two,
handed you a
three
couple of
grand.
grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, yeah, and who could have seen it? Well, I tell you, I know someone who could have seen it.
Yeah.
70 million Brits. The 650 who didn't see it, but the other 70 million said, "Are you mental?" And unfortunately, yes, we are. I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't so bloody tragic. And then, oh, but look, a woman and child died. I've never seen these bodies. Why is it only women and children dying? You never see the men dying. They only ever tell you that a woman and child has died. You watch those boats, you never see a woman on them. It's all men. And it's all bullshit. Oh, they're trying to make you feel sorry because a woman and child died. No, they didn't. There's no women and children on those boats. It's bollocks.
This is the number one political issue, and it's going to be the number one political issue at the next general election. So in May, but also next general election, Labour has to do something now, not to fix it, but they have to do something to make them look like they're fixing it. They're two different things. What do you think Labour's going to do to make them look like they're doing it? And is there any chance in hell you think Labour's actually going to do something about it? Because this is the number one issue in the country.
What they'll do is they do what they always do. They'll lie. They'll distract. Hey, look over there, something shiny. They'll start a war. Let's go to war or something because they want to distract. They don't want to address the problem because they like it. They want this. The problem they have is trying to hide what they're doing. And they'll talk a good game. Oh, we're going to break the gangs. No, you're not. You've never tried. You talked about it, but you're not going to break the gangs because you've no intention of breaking the gangs. And you can sit with all your other heads of Europe in little railway carriages doing lines of coke. We've seen it, and and pretend that you're effective, but actually it's all BS because they don't want to do it. But they have to give the impression. So they talk a good game. Oh, we'll break the gangs, and that's what they talk about. What's this one in, one out? No, no, no. One in, one out means you're not getting rid of anyone. How about all out, like Miriam Carlin, and none in? And then do that. And then, oh, look, people might vote for us again. This is why Labour and the Tories are neck and neck seeing who can be the fourth or fifth party in Parliament. Whereas Reform are going to get 400 odd seats and have said straight away, boom, Navy in the Channel, and we're rounding up all the illegals, and out they go. And that's why people are voting for them. As you say, it's the number one issue. And of course, Labour will see this. There'll be this huge swarm for reform. They'll watch the illegals going out, and Labour will just go, "Oh, that means Reform are going to win the next election as well, and probably the one after that." And while they keep doing this, people are going to keep voting for them because they don't want illegals. They don't want their children being attacked and harmed. They don't want their women being raped. They don't want this. And they see it because we get court case after court case after court case. And it's not racism. They call you racist when you mention this, but it's not racism. It's truth. And, they use that racism word so often, it's become meaningless now. If standing up and saying you don't want children attacked is racist, then I'm a racist. I don't care. I really don't care. You can call me what you like. I've got more regard for children's safety than for the feelings of illegal immigrants. And if that's wrong, well, I'm guilty.
Yeah, I mean, those all those words, I used to call them the super words. They've all lost their power now because they've been overused. Racist, sexist, homophobe, transphobe, fascist, Nazi, racist, xenophobe. They've all lost meaning. No one cares anymore because everybody's a racist now. Everybody's a sexist, and when you get to that stage, those words now are meaningless.
They've lost their power, Nick. They've lost all power. Yeah.
Yeah, overused. I think the Labour strategy is this: they know they can't change anything in the country. They've given up. They know they can't. Their strategy now is we need to unify the left. If we can unify the left and paint Farage as a Nazi and Hitler, and if the Labour Party can say to the Greens, the Lib Dems, your party, the Independents, and say to them, it's Labour of its reform and Hitler. Who do you want at the general election? It's only Labour who can stop the Nazis. I think that's their strategy, and it's going to unfold more and more over the next couple of years. We've already got them, everybody now calling them Farage a Nazi and a fascist. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. That's their strategy. Have you noticed that? Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I have. And I tell you, the funny and ironic thing about that is that fascism is far left. If you look at what the Nazis did, they wanted control of the press. What does Starmer want? Control of the press. They wanted to nationalize industry. What does, the left want? Nationalization of the industry. Everything the Nazis did was leftist um, policy. What happened was after the war, all these leftist academics suddenly went, "Oh, look at all those dead Jews! Oh, look at what they've done to the country! Oh, ew." And that they knew it was all leftist policy. So they said, "Well, we can't make this because that's our policy." And so they pretended and changed everything that fascism was far right, but it isn't. Fascism is far left, and it's only the academics being too ashamed of what fascism did that forced them to change it, and that's why we all are told fascism is far right, but it's not. There's nothing on the right that's fascist. Fascism is pure leftist ideology. And so to call Nigel Farage, a fascist and a Hitler-like person, it shows how dumb these people are because they don't understand what fascism is. It's Farage isn't telling you to mind what you think and mind what you say. That's left. The left do that. It's the left that are violent. Um, it always has been. The left have always been violent. Because they have to go to violence because they can't win a reasoned debate. Because the left is unreasonable in its truest sense. There is no reason there. They're dumb, and their policies are dumb, and they know it, but they get frustrated because their policies are dumb, and there's nothing they can do because that's their dogma, their ideology, and they can't accept they're wrong, so they get violent, and we see it all the time. Farage as Hitler, I mean, come on, seriously. It's a joke. We know that, and it is a joke, but that's what they have to push because that's we can't be seen as being wrong. They're not children, Nick. They're like 5-year-olds in a playground. What can you do?
Yeah, not a lot. So let's end with this then: Labour and immigration. Over the next couple of years until next general election, are things going to get worse with immigration? Are they going to stay the same, or are they going to manage to do anything to make it slightly better? What do you think?
I think they'll spin. They will be spinning like crazy, um, but they're not going to do anything. And I think it will get worse because as the economy collapses and there's less money, there'll be less resources. They won't have the same number of policemen. They won't have the same border force. They won't have anything to stop it. And this is one of the things with a collapsing economy. Everything goes, well, a little bit rubbish, doesn't it? I mean, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And they're going to keep taxing because we've got to pay £40,000 a year for every illegal. Well, where's the money coming from? We don't have the money now. And as they keep coming in, they're going to go and tax and tax and tax and tax until there is literally no money. That's Labour.
That's always Labour. I don't think Labour have ever left government with a healthy balance sheet. Labour always leave government bankrupt.
Every every single government, every single Labour government, without fail, has always left the country worse off.
Yeah. And it's even harder for this government because they inherited a bankrupt country in the first place. So it's even harder this time. Labour government's always had a bounce because the first few years they've got the success of the Tories and all the money to do things. But this time there was no money left anyway. Yeah.
They did it without the money, and now they're going, oh, but we've got £100 billion black hole. Where did that come from? I'm going to put it down to sheer incompetence and lying on your CV.
That's a perfect place to end because that sums up this government. Liars and incompetence. Foxy, as always, thank you so much for coming on today.
I love coming on and having a good rant with you, Nick. It lightens my heart, makes my day.
Excellent. See you soon.
See ya. Bye bye.